It's time for some truly amazing news that will significantly impact many people's lives. Monday of this week, prepare yourself for a breathtaking experience. People who depend on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits will soon receive $22,000 monthly payouts. If you're retired and receiving Social Security, if you have a disability and receive SSI or SSDI support, or if you're a veteran receiving VA aid, this news is for you. These monthly checks are supposed to help you in a number of ways, to provide you with a little extra financial support each month, which can make a significant difference. But wait, we're not stopping there. In this video, we'll also give you the most recent information on the status of the fourth stimulus check and discuss when it's anticipated to arrive, and what to anticipate when it occurs. Our goal is to keep you informed and make sure you have the resources you need, so don't miss this exciting news. Send this movie to everyone you know who could benefit from it, including your neighbors, family, and friends. There is a new proposal from advocacy groups and lawmakers that might significantly improve the financial situation for tens of millions of Social Security claimants, as inflation is still high and makes every dollar difficult to stretch. I'm referring to monthly checks of $2,000 in addition to people's regular Social Security benefits. The Social Security Fairness Act and the Senior Citizens League are calling for an increase in benefits for those who already receive them. The reasoning for this is that since 2000, Social Security benefits have lost one-third of their purchasing power because of insufficient cost of living adjustments that don't take into consideration how rapidly. To give you an example, basic necessities like food, gas, and housing have become more expensive over time. The Senior Citizens League claims that while the average Social Security retirement payment is now just about $1,600 per month, it should actually be over $2,400 per month when considering in order to ensure that benefits maintain up with actual inflation going forward. Their proposal asks for a one-time $2,000 stimulus payment to make up for any deficiency in real inflation statistics over the previous couple of decades. The question is, who would receive these checks on a monthly basis? The largest group of people who would benefit from these potential $2,000 checks on top of their regular Social Security payments, if this proposal is approved, are retired workers who are currently eligible for regular Social Security retirement benefits. These individuals make up about 47 million people and receive an average monthly benefit of $1,623. 3.2 million adult disabled children who receive benefits based on their parents' employment records, 5.8 million surviving spouses of deceased workers who receive survivor benefits, and nearly 7 million survivors of deceased workers who receive survivor payouts are just a few examples of the other groups to which payment may be extended. In total, we could be talking about more than 62 million Social Security recipients could have their monthly income increased by up to $2,000. Additionally, the Senior Citizens League suggests extending the $2,000 payment to beneficiaries of SSI and SSDI. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, offers benefits to low-income individuals, elderly and handicapped individuals. Benefits under SSDI are given to disabled individuals who are able to work. If both of these categories were covered, an additional 12 million Americans may get the $2,000 check each month for a potential total of 7.4 million recipients. Additional cash on top of their existing government assistance referring to stimulus checks. Additionally, I would like to share the most recent information regarding the possibility that Americans will get a fourth wave of direct payments from the government to assist in covering expenses at this time of rising inflation. In brief, the federal government provided 3 rounds of stimulus checks during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2012, 2021 to assist Americans who were experiencing financial hardship. The majority of adults received payments of $1,200, $600, and $1,400 respectively, with additional funds for children. But requests have been increasing for an additional stimulus payment or regular checks to give more relief, because the last 6 months have seen high prices linger. Inflation is currently stuck at roughly 6 to 7%, which is still much higher than the 2% set by the Federal Reserve. Target rate refers to the price of groceries. Gas, rent, and other necessities keep on. While the federal government has not yet approved a fourth wave of stimulus checks, there has been a lot of campaigning and proposals for it, including a petition requesting for ongoing $2,000 monthly payouts until the pandemic. Rising faster than earnings for many Americans has amassed more than 3 million signatures. More direct payments have been proposed by a number of senators and members of Congress. One of the more well-known requests was made by 64 Democratic lawmakers in a letter to President Biden in 2022. Congress urged him to get ready for more economic assistance, such as stimulus checks and prolonged unemployment benefits, in case things get worse. They claimed that additional direct payments could be a vital lifeline for working families that have recently been having trouble paying for rising household expenses like rent, utilities, food, and gas. A family of 4 might possibly receive $900 in checks from the bill that was submitted by more than 50 members of the House of Representatives and Senate in early 2023. Under the law, individual taxpayers would receive a payment of $300 plus an additional $300 for each kid or adult dependent. Receive $1,200 in stimulus aid, with the income requirements being $775,000 for single people and $150,000 for couples. Although the $900 check idea hasn't advanced very far, it does demonstrate that some lawmakers are still pushing for the approval of more economic impact payments. The crucial query is, from the perspective of the Biden administration, which has opposed calls for a fourth stimulus check thus far, it is unclear whether there would be sufficient bipartisan support in a divided Congress to actually get it passed into law. White House officials have suggested they view the high inflation as temporary and expect it should gradually lessen as supply chain imbalances and disruptions brought on by the epidemic. However, they haven't entirely ruled out additional direct payments in the event that high prices continue and the economy deteriorates. Of course, the political dynamics surrounding the 2024 presidential election potentially change the allocation of relief payments and stimulus funds. Although it doesn't appear likely, candidates on both sides of the aisle may try to curry favor with voters who are tight for cash by backing further checks. As a result, the door may not be fully closed on a fourth stimulus check. The push for additional financial relief, such as stimulus checks or increased benefits, shows no signs of slowing down in the near future based on current economic forecasts that continue to identify high inflation as a major economic issue. A number of significant advocacy organizations are continuing to put pressure on Congress and the approval of more direct payments to Americans by the White House. The Senior Citizens League, which speaks for millions of retirees, is one of the most outspoken organizations. It keeps pushing for the planned $2,000 monthly checks for Social Security benefits that we previously covered. They contend that elderly and rising expenses for housing, food, healthcare, and other essentials have disproportionately affected individuals on fixed incomes. Many are finding it difficult to maintain their benefits without a meaningful cost of living increase. Another significant organization advocating for a fourth round of stimulus payments in addition to longer-term fixes to boost the purchasing power of government assistance. Their most recent lobbying effort highlights the fact that older Americans generally spend a larger percentage of their income on items and services that are most affected by inflation, such as prescription medications and groceries for heating. Above elderly people and retirees, several other groups that support low-income families, veterans, and people with disabilities have also been pushing for the government to provide additional stimulus funding. They emphasize how important the previous 3 rounds of funding were in keeping millions of people out of poverty and in providing a temporary financial lifeline, for instance. The additional income from security, less than 2% of SSI recipients' benefits, increased for 2023, well below the rate of inflation, which infuriated disability advocates. They demanded that Congress take further legislative action to prevent the most vulnerable from falling even further into financial difficulty. The Congressional Progressive Corps, a group of 8 members of Congress, has been among the most outspoken in demanding further stimulus funding. Just last month, the heads of the Corps wrote the White House, requesting automatic stabilizers and periodic direct payments to receive money into people's hands during recessions, while the breadth and eligibility requirements of various plans vary. This political party's ideological wing's main claim is that more forceful government action is required to prevent economic disaster for working families, the elderly, and other marginalized populations.